We all know that Canelo Alvarez has been receiving criticism for his lack of wanting to engage and put on fights with other Mexican fighters. Regardless if they being Mexican fighters, they're still being big fights, and fight fans are just not used to a boxer using that excuse, because at the end of the day, these guys like entertaining fights. Like I said before, boxing is not a team sport. It's an individual sport. It's a sport where you can root for the individual. There's no reason to have any alliance with any other boxers as some kind of super team to represent a part of the world or a faction of the world. That's not what boxing is built for. That's not how boxing is designed. If that's the case, we would have teams. Team USA would go up against team, I don't know, Canada or whatever or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? We would have a design like that, but anybody can fight anybody, and all the other legendary Mexicans have fought each other, and they've been some of the most entertaining fights in history, some of the most memorable fights in history. So when Canelo Alvarez says that he don't want to fight people like Roberto Ramirez because he's Mexican and whatever and whatnot, and that is true. But the interesting thing about David Benavidez, because a lot of people want to see him fight David Benavidez, everybody knows it'll be a big fight. Everybody knows it'll set out. Everybody knows it'll make a lot of money. Everybody wants to see the fight and have the fight happen but Canelo Alvarez. But Canelo Alvarez's main excuse is, I represent Mexico and I don't want to hurt Mexico and all this other stuff, you know. And this is the thing. If that's going to be his, you know, if that's going to be his excuse, let it be his excuse. And let that be his primary excuse. Okay? Let's hold him up on that. Okay, you don't want to fight this guy and you don't want to fight that guy because they're Mexican. All right? And you represent Mexico. All right? This is the thing. David Benavidez is an American fighter. That's right. He's American, not Mexican. We all know Mexican is a nationality. It's not a race. Okay? So his nationality and the place where he's from is America. To add on top of that, a lot of Mexicans claim that David Benavidez is not even Mexican. Okay, he's not a real Mexican. But see, they do that to try to disown him or try to diss him or trying to say he's not part of that simply for the fact that he's wants to challenge Canelo Alvarez. The problem with that is the same way you try to discredit him and say he's not Mexican, you actually empower the fight being made. Because if y'all claim that David Benavidez is not Mexican, and on top of that, his nationality, he's American and from America, that's all the more reason we should see the fight. So if Canelo Alvarez is not fighting because he represents Mexico, David Benavidez represents America. When you look him up on Boxing Rec, he's under an American fighter, not a Mexico fighter. American. We both know he's Ecuadorian and Mexican. He's an American fighter with a Mexican heritage / blood running through his veins, along with Ecuadorian. And since Canelo Alvarez fans say that he's not Mexican, you know, in the sense of, I guess, as far as not only just representation, but as in blood, it's also a fact that he's not Mexican when it comes to his boxing rep. Okay? He represents an American fighter. So, with that being said, David Benavidez is American. Canelo Alvarez is Mexican. So my question is, can we get this fight now? And I wish somebody would bring this up to see what excuse he gonna try to paint behind this. But I want to let it to be well known. When you go on Boxing Rec, right? And when you look up David Benavidez, you're gonna see an American flag, not a Mexican one. And if you ask most of them, hell, and even if you ask David Benavidez, he's aware that they try to say that he's not Mexican. Once again, that only helps fuel the fight. It doesn't help put the fire out on the desire of the fight. So with that being said, you got a fighter who Mexicans claim that is not Mexican, and on his BoxRec information, he represents an American fighter. So that totally puts him out of the excuse lane for Canelo not fighting him. So my question is, what's the excuse going to be now? Like, comment, subscribe. Bruce Vane, I'm out.